Yo, what's up, guys? It is me, and I am bringing you our draft analysis for the BBR Season 9 main division. Yes, we indeed did make it. Now, as you guys know, I did lose semifinals in D League to my good friend Hunky, but I was actually reached out to by the mod team before playoffs even started, actually, and they wanted to extend me an early invite to the main league. So, of course, I was actually under no pressure to actually win the entire thing, but of course, I couldn't tell you guys that. So, we're here now. I'm really grateful for this opportunity. So huge thanks to my team for giving me this chance. Huge thanks to my friends and all my supporters who supported me, gave me mocks for during the regular season and playoffs for D League. So huge thanks to them as well. I wouldn't be here without them. And as you guys know, the BBR does hold a special place in my heart. I am the Summer Scramble champion, and the previous Summer Scramble was actually my first experience with Wi-Fi. So that's pretty cool as everything is like coming full circle. So I'm pretty excited to be here. Again, huge thanks to the mod team for giving me this chance, and we're going to try our best, and let's just see how it goes, guys. So with that said, I'm looking forward to bringing you guys our draft analysis. So let's get into it. So for the season of the BBR, we were given second overall pick. With this power in my hand, I almost have the option to pick anything. I could pick the Broken Terror Captain Zarude or Torrentee, maybe Great Tusk or Iron Vow. It's a good or reliable Masquerada. However, I knew deep down what I must do. For too long have I been sniped at this Pokemon in every single draft I do at the BBR. For too long have I allowed the mod team to slander and defame my goats. For too long have I kept my silence, but that day ends now. And so with that, I welcome everybody our first pick of the BBR, Alomomola. Yeah, that's right. Your eyes do not deceive you. I took a round 1 second overall pick. Well, I probably did not need to. It's about sending a message. Well, I love using Aloe. The BBR team hates Aloe. They think it sucks. They think Lantern is only worth 1 point less than Aloe, down at 6 points. Now, onto Aloe as a Pokemon. As I said before, I used it plenty times in the past as a premier defensive piece that can flex between a defensive position to an offensive one through Flip Turn or Baton Pass, while easily remaining healthy for its ability Regenerator and Insane Bulk. In addition to Flip Turn, it gets speed control moves like Icy Wind so that even my banded big damage dealers can outspeed them on front of Aloe, as well as being a top tier cleric support and having Wish and Healing Wish. While many people think it's bad because of how exploitable it is through sets like Sub Setup, it's actively forcing those types of sets to come, which is a huge advantage in a team builder, prepping for those sets specifically as they don't get immediate damage through a Specs or a Band. So while there are certain sets that beat Aloe easily, that's the reason for my other team slots, as Aloe can check off so many sets just by itself. Our next pick is an equally interesting pick, and that's going to be Terra Hydrapple. As the draft got back to me, I originally wanted Cinderace so I could check off my speed tiers, but unfortunately Cinderace, along with basically every single high tier fast one, was taken, leaving me with the Fraud Brigade and Noivern, Talonflame, Kilowattrel, Psychzar, etc. to choose for my high speed tiers. So not wanting to take one of those guys just yet, I decided to go with my Terra Captain and Hydrapple. And for those who don't know, Terra Hydrapple is what won the BBR D League, piloted by A12, and I've been inspired by my teammates over at the Draft League World Cup, who piloted Terra Hydrapple amazingly every single week, so I figured I wanted to give it a try as well. Hydrapple, like Aloe, is a Regenerator mon, but where Aloe struggles with being a bit too passive, Hydrapple makes up for that in his base 120 special attack stat, paired with powerful setup moves like Nasty Plot and Feckle Beam, which has a 30% chance to deal double damage every time it hits. Combine this with his ability to terrestrialize out of his bad grass and dragon typing, Hydrapple becomes a menace both with his defensive and offensive side. In the past, I've actually used Hydrapple as a Terra Captain and even won the League of it, but that was with only limited to 2 Terra types available, so I'm excited to see what I can do now that I can choose any type I want. For our third pick, I decided it was time to suck it up and draft whatever fast mon was left, and the best one of all, in my opinion, was Iron Boulder. Let it be known that I don't think Iron Boulder is that good of a Pokemon. It was just a pick that I saw was necessary should I not want to rely on Psychzar or Talonflame or one of those guys. On the bright side, with its base 124 speed, Iron Boulder becomes faster than even a Meowscarada and Greninja without even factoring in its booster energy. This allows Boulder to not have to rely on booster speed that much like Iron Vow to outspeed stuff, which frees up its item slot to run Band or even booster attack. Well, unlike other rock types like Tyranitar, Iron Boulder gets a reliable rock move and Mighty Cleave, making it very easy to spam without worrying about a miss like Stone Edge or Rock Slide. This paired with its coverage in close combat and Earthquake for steel types make Iron Boulder surprisingly difficult to switch into. Now, with the first 3 picks done my team. It's looking a little funny compared to other people's top 3 to say the least. However, I knew that these would be the consequences for taking Aloe round 1, and I was ready to face them. So, for our 4th pick for the season, we're going to build our defensive cores with Clodsire. I used Clodsire in D-League with great success, and it gave me a much needed ground type and grounded poison to absorb T-Spike. Additionally, this gave me an unaware mon, which is really important to nullify any setup my opponent wants to try to break through my Aloe and my Hydrapple region core. Clodsire also gave me much needed hazards in both rocks, spikes, and T-spikes, which I lacked in my first 3 picks. To pair with Clodsire, our next pick is also a D-League veteran in Mandibuzz. For my playstyle, I find it very important to have a good defogger. This is because I don't want to risk being spin blocked every match and keep losing HP on my mons through hazards without boot spam. Although most teams typically don't take a defogger, because my playstyle is typically defensive oriented, I might end up switching up more and more. Thus having a good defogger is important to ensure that I get rid of those pesky hazards without getting spin blocked. Outside of defogging purposes though, Mandibuzz gave me a much needed dark type to help against dark spam and psychic spam, and it also gave me a reliable ground switch in, which my previous picks Claude is weak to, and should I tear Hydrapple. Mandibuzz also gave me a knockoff user to get rid of boots on my opponent's side and pivot through U-turn. To continue our trend of fleshing out our supports, I decided to grab my Rat Spinner now in Serena. Originally, I had Bramagast planned, but I didn't really like his bulk in D-League, so I decided to take Serena instead and pick up a different ghost down the line. Although Serena gives me a Grass Repeat and Hydrapple, since Hydrapple will most likely tear out of its Grass type, I thought it was okay. And outside of spin, Serena does get reliable recovery and Synthesis, which I always value, Knockoff, Triple Axle to punish Flying type switching in, and U-turn for additional pivot. Although one might say having a spinner and defogger is already way more than enough, I said no. I want as much removal as I can get, and that's why our next pick is another Rapid Spinner in Fortress, who is also going to be our dedicated Steel type. Outside of spin, Fortress also gets rocks and spikes, which I really value since their only hazard mon is the Clodsire, and it also helps a lot for specific matchups against mons like Masquerada, and can also pivot through Volt Switch and hit decently hard with Body Press. So usually I dislike having a Steel that's not able to resist flying. Having Iron Boulder evens that out, I find, so I'm okay with this. Originally, I had Sableye planned for my next pick for the reliable spin block plus Encore Will-O-Wisp shenanigans, but I was quickly shot down by Nasty Snipe, so instead we had to pick up Miss Magius. While Miss Magius can kind of function as a spin block, since it also gets Will-O-Wisp and Pain Split, it will most likely be not used as that, as it is way too frail, and it is a decent special attack stat and speed stat that I'll rather use instead, as currently I have almost no offense and just the Iron Boulder. So Miss Magius also gets moves like Trick to disrupt and even Destiny Bond if I'm feeling a bit cheeky. Our pick right after Miss Magius is also a much needed type on the team, and that is a Fairy type in Sylveon. Having a Fairy type I think is very important, as they stops Dragon types from spamming Band or Specs moves into your team like Draco Meteor from Melodios. Although I don't like using Sylveon very much, as it requires dedicating 2 move slots to Wish and Protect to really be used sustainably, I thought it was a necessary sacrifice to make. Outside of support roles though, Sylveon does hit decently hard surprisingly with Pixelated Hyper Voice, which can also bypass sub-tactics people might try to abuse with my defensive core through Aloe or Hydrapple. After snagging it, the last of our much needed support squad, the last remaining points will be used for scavenge whatever offense we can complete the team with in our last 2 picks. The first pick will be our secondary Terra Captain alongside Hydrapple, and that's going to be Terra Hoopa Unbound. For those who don't know, Hoopa has a base attack stat of 160 and a base special attack stat of 170. This makes Hoopa incredibly difficult to switch into his knockoffs or his Dark Pulses, with his main drawback being his bad typing and mediocre speed. The speed can be fixed with a Scarf, while the typing can be fixed with Terra. Although I might not want to necessarily Terra Hoopa, I think just having the option makes it extremely threatening should I bring it and in a team builder for my opponents. Lastly, we arrive at our final pick for the BBR, and that will be Mew. I wanted Mew for a few reasons. One, it gave me a hazard setter outside of Clodsire and Fortress, should I not want to slot hazards or bring the 2. And 2, it gave me a versatile attacker that can lean physical or special depending on the matchup, much like Hoopa, while still having a decent base speed in the 100 range and the options for momentum. And 3, I never got a chance to use Mew before, and it's always been a Pokemon I wanted to try, so I'm excited to see what I can cook with it. And with that, this is our complete team for the BBR Season 9. We definitely have a very interesting team, to say the least, with the triple Psychic Core and Iron Boulder, Hoopa, and Mew as their main offense. It may be a little bit too passive for anyone else piloting this team, but at the end of the day, I do think it is a team that I can use and pilot to great success, so I look forward to the start of the season, start next week for a Week 1 match against Keegan. So thank you guys for watching. Please consider subscribing, leave a like, and check out all the other coaches. And of course, I'll catch you guys next week. Peace.